Our story begins in Beriagati, a remote village nestled deep within the folds of ancient hills, shrouded in legend and fear. Here, the air is thick with stories passed down through generations, and every shadow seems to hold a secret. The villagers move quietly at dusk, casting wary glances toward the edge of their home where the unknown waits. At the very edge of Beriagati stands the Shrapit Kwan, the cursed well. Its stones are slick with moss, its mouth choked by tangled vines, and its presence is a constant reminder of things best left undisturbed. No one dares to draw water from it after sunset, and even in daylight, the well is approached with caution and whispered prayers. The villagers believe the well holds more than just water. They say it is a vessel for memories, echoes of sorrow, tales of betrayal, and curses that have seeped into its depths over centuries. On quiet nights, some claim to hear faint whispers rising from the darkness, voices that speak of old wounds and unfinished business. Some say the well was cursed by a greedy landlord, whose cruelty and ambition brought ruin upon the village. His misdeeds, they believe, poisoned the very earth, leaving behind a legacy of misfortune. Others whisper of a heartbroken bride, her spirit forever bound to the well after a night of betrayal and loss. Her sorrow, it is said, lingers in the air, and her presence is felt whenever the wind stirs the vines. Children, fueled by curiosity and fear, dare each other to approach the well. They gather in small groups, peering from behind trees, but none are brave enough to cross the invisible boundary that separates safety from the unknown. As the sun dips below the horizon, the well seems to change. It is no longer just a forgotten relic of stone and shadow, but a living entity, watchful, patient, and quietly menacing. The villagers say it hungers for attention, for stories, for the energy of those who dare to come close. With nightfall, the air grows heavy and the silence deepens. Doors are bolted, windows shuttered, and the villagers huddle inside, casting nervous glances at the darkness outside. Each night they wait, hearts pounding, dreading what the shadows might bring. The well is a wound upon the land, its secrets festering in the dark. Roots twist around its base like grasping fingers, and the stones seem to pulse with a life of their own, as if the past refuses to let go. In Beriagati, the past is never truly buried. Every path, every stone, and every whisper in the night reminds the villagers that some stories are meant to be remembered, and some secrets are never meant to be unearthed. In the heart of a quiet village where the fields stretch endlessly and the air is thick with the scent of earth and rain, lives Arav, a 12-year-old boy whose eyes seem to hold 1,000 questions. Unlike the other children who are content with games and chores, Arav is restless, always searching for answers in the shadows and silences of his world. His curiosity is a spark that sets him apart, a light that refuses to be dimmed by the weight of old fears. At the center of the village stands the cursed well, a relic from a time no one remembers clearly. To most, it is a place to be avoided, a source of whispered warnings and hurried footsteps. But to Arav, the well is a puzzle, its darkness calling to him with the promise of secrets waiting to be uncovered. He doesn't see danger. He sees a story that no one dares to tell. Arav's grandmother, Amma, is known throughout the village as the keeper of its stories. Her voice, when she chooses to use it, can paint vivid pictures of gods and monsters, of love and loss. Yet when it comes to the well, her words dry up, leaving only silence and a shadow that passes over her face. Each time Arav asks about the well, Amma's lips press together, her jaw set in a line of quiet defiance. Her eyes, usually so warm, grow distant and clouded, as if she is staring at something only she can see, something that frightens her even now. Some doors are best left unopened, Amma warns him in hushed tones, her voice trembling with memories she refuses to share. But the more she tries to protect him with silence, the more determined Arav becomes. Her warnings are like riddles, and he is desperate to solve them. The village elders, too, are bound by a pact of silence. They gather at night, their faces lit by the flickering glow of a small fire, speaking in low voices that trail off whenever Arav draws near. Their silence is heavy, built from years of guilt, fear, and secrets too dangerous to name. Arav watches Amma closely, noticing the way her hands tremble when the wind howls at night, carrying with it the faintest whispers from the direction of the well. In those moments, he senses that she holds the key to a truth that could change everything, if only she would speak. The secret of the well is a burden that weighs on the entire village, casting long shadows over their lives. But Arav, with his unyielding curiosity and stubborn hope, is determined to break through the silence and uncover what lies beneath. He is the crack in their wall of silence, the question that refuses to be ignored. While others turn away, Arav steps closer, drawn by the mystery that everyone else fears. The well story is waiting, patient and silent, for someone brave, or perhaps foolish, enough to listen. And Arav, with his curious eyes and relentless spirit, may be the one to finally bring its secrets into the light. As nights grow longer, strange happenings multiply around the cursed well. Farmers hear ghostly Chennai music in broad daylight. Dogs cower in silence after dark. Women report the eerie tinkle of anklets in empty lanes, and a spectral scent of wedding flowers drifts from the well. Arav too senses the unnatural. Jasmine and marigold where none grow, whispers in an ancient tongue. A shepherd returns pale, swearing he heard mocking laughter from the well's depths. The well's whispers are no longer just stories. They are warnings. Something old and restless is waking beneath Bariagati. On a moonless, fog-choked night, the village holds its breath. Shadows stretch across the fields, and every home is locked tight, as if the darkness itself is a living thing, pressing against the doors and windows. In the heart of this uneasy silence, the old well waits, its secrets hidden beneath layers of mist and memory. Tonight, the well will reveal its horror, and no one will be spared from witnessing the spectacle. Suddenly, a mournful dhol begins to beat, its sound rising from the earth itself. The rhythm is slow, heavy, and filled with sorrow, echoing through the empty lanes and waking the village from uneasy dreams. The villagers, startled and fearful, peer from behind curtains, searching for the source of the haunting music that seems to come from nowhere and everywhere at once. A cold green glow pulses from the ancient well, casting eerie shadows that dance along the ground. From the depths, ghostly figures begin to rise, their forms wavering like candle flames in the wind. It is a spectral wedding procession, flickering in and out of existence, their faces pale and eyes hollow, as if caught between worlds. At the front of this otherworldly parade is the groom, sorrowful and hollow-eyed, dressed in tattered wedding finery. He leads the silent baraat past the frozen villagers, his gaze fixed on some distant sorrow. The villagers, rooted to the spot, can only watch as the procession glides by, unable to move or speak. Musicians, their bodies barely visible, play invisible instruments. The air is filled with the sound of mournful melodies, yet no hands seem to touch the drums or flutes. The wedding guests, spectral and silent, glide in a slow, mournful dance, their faces twisted in eternal grief. As the dead march through the village, the air grows colder with every step they take. A trail of frost forms beneath their feet, etching their path in shimmering white. The chilling mist clings to the ground, swirling around the spectral figures and leaving behind a sense of dread that seeps into every corner of the village. No one screams or flees. All are paralyzed by terror and awe. The villagers stand as if turned to stone, their eyes wide with disbelief and fear. The silence is absolute, broken only by the distant echo of the dhol and the soft rustle of ghostly garments brushing against the earth. The procession pays no heed to the living. With slow, deliberate steps, the spectral wedding party moves toward the edge of the village, vanishing one by one into the dense jungle. The darkness swallows them whole, leaving behind only the memory of their passing and the chill in the air. This ritual is ancient, sorrowful, and unbroken by time. It repeats itself year after year, a curse that binds the dead to the living, and the living to their fear. The villagers know the story, but tonight they have seen it with their own eyes, and the legend has become terrifyingly real. The well's curse is no longer just a whispered legend. It is a living nightmare that haunts the village. Its glow lingers long after the procession has vanished, casting twisted shadows that seem to move on their own. The villagers know that the well will never let them forget what they have witnessed. As dawn breaks, the village is left shivering in the wake of the dead. The air is heavy with fear and sorrow, and the silence that follows is deeper than before. The villagers huddle together, haunted by the memory of the night, knowing that the well's curse will return again. Dawn brings no relief. The village is gripped by silence and fear. Doors stay bolted, meals go untouched, and the usual rhythms of life are suspended. The ghostly baraat haunts every thought, its sorrow infecting the living. Arav, shaken but curious, sees tragedy in the groom's eyes. A story, not just a threat. Amma sits in prayer, her silence heavier than ever. The village is paralyzed, the path of the procession now forbidden ground. The well is no longer just a tale. It is a wound, bleeding fear into every home. The villagers are resigned, trapped by a curse they cannot understand. Only Arav senses that understanding the past is the key to breaking the cycle. As dusk falls again, panic drives the elders to meet in the temple's shadows. Pairon Singh, the headman, urges silence, insisting the old pact protects them. But Deen Dayal, frail but resolute, challenges him. Our silence is a cage, not a shield. The spirits seek justice, not vengeance. The council is divided. Some cling to secrecy, others to truth. Arav, listening unseen, pieces together fragments, a wedding, a betrayal, a massacre, and a bride's despair. The well is not cursed by chance, but by a crime the village tried to erase. The truth is a poison, but so is the silence. Arav realizes the only way forward is to confront the past. The elders' pact is crumbling. The well's secret is about to surface. Arav, desperate for answers, turns to Amma. He pleads for the truth, and at last Amma relents, her voice heavy with grief. She tells of a wedding long ago. Greed and pride led the elders to massacre the groom's party, their bodies and treasures thrown into the well. The bride, mad with grief, followed them into the depths. The village swore silence, but the well could not forget. The ghostly procession is not vengeful, but trapped, forever reliving their final moments, demanding their story be told. Arav's fear turns to empathy. He sees the groom not as a monster, but a victim. The curse is a cry for remembrance, not revenge. The truth is a burden, but also a key. Arav knows what he must do. The time for silence is over. That night, Arav walks to the well, lamp in hand, heart heavy with truth. As the spectral baraat rises, he stands firm and speaks, "We know, we remember, we are sorry." He confesses the village's crime, offering no excuses, only the truth. The procession passes him, unchanged, their sorrow undiminished. Arav's words cannot break the curse. The ritual continues, unstoppable. He stands alone as the last ghost vanishes, the well's darkness swallowing the light. The truth has been spoken, but the wound remains. The curse is deeper than memory. It is woven into the land. Arav has opened the door to the past but cannot close it. The march of the dead goes on. Morning brings confession. Arav shares Amma's story with the elders. The secret is out, and the village is united in shame and sorrow. The well is renamed the Well of Sorrows, and a nightly lamp is lit in remembrance. The villagers learn to live with the ghosts, not as monsters, but as mourned victims. The procession continues on moonless nights, but now the villagers watch in respect, not terror. Their penance is to remember, to bear witness. The truth has changed their prison but not freed them. The curse endures, a reminder that some wounds never heal. The story of Bariagati is now one of tragedy and remembrance. And the question lingers. If truth and apology cannot bring peace, what can?